How are we going to sketch this out? Step 1, we need to make the hook. I don't know how sensitive this is going to be. We're going to wing it and cross our fingers. There's going to be two main parts. Do I want to make it around the middle? No, I don't really care that much. There's going to be two squares. Rectangles. I'm going to set a size. Let's measure the one we have. Looking like about 2 millimeters. Actually closer to about a 1 1/4, but I don't think plastic's going to hold up that well. So we're going to set it to, we'll measure our length. It's sitting 20, almost 21 on the dot. Do this and it's probably the same. This is a harder measurement to get because it's not exactly lined up as nicely as I can. I'm trying not to get the object I'm measuring in front of my face, which is hard. I might not do a VTuber for this because I need to put the tool in front of my face to see. That's causing some very weird measurements. We'll overestimate just a hair. Overestimate. We have a very precise tool. We should not need to overestimate. 20 1/4. Okay, so this is the back. From this point we need a support beam down. We probably don't need that much. Just for the safety of it, we'll give it about 30 millimeters down. Go ahead and create a new box here. And we will give that 30 millimeters. This, we will keep it at 2 for now. So now the next piece of this puzzle, now that we have that sitting against the thing, we need to measure the dimensions of the bulb we're going to be putting up at its fattest point, so this will fit properly. About 61 1/4 millimeters. So for sake of a reference, we're going to put a line up. When I say 61 1/4, that is about the width of our bulb. So we need to build out to that point. We're going to go ahead and put a reference line in, because this is going to be the thing. Actually, we're going to make a full reference to this. The fattest point is 61.25, and then let's get the dimensions of height. Do I need height? But I need height. I mean, for the sake of completeness, can my calipers measure this? Uh-oh. Uh-oh, we're running out of caliper here. I can not measure them together. I'd have to measure them separately. We're not going to do that because I'm feeling kind of lazy. Okay. So we're going to say never mind that. This is good enough. Let's grab a measurement of the base. We're going to create a point. It's going to be right in the center. And then we'll create a rectangle, and we want it at a specific spot. I don't want to do a 2-point rectangle. We'll just do it like this. Make this a reference as well. We're gonna create a point on the midpoint, and then we're gonna put these together. And then we're gonna measure this, and we're gonna measure just the bottom half of the bulb holder, because this will need to factor into the design. The other half does not matter. Should this be plugged in while I'm measuring it with a metallic object? Probably not. But I guess we all live life dangerously in different ways. So that's 37 millimeters on the dot. That is a wonderful measurement. Now we're going to move on to the next, the length. And there's two parts to this. The cable has its own length that sticks out of like a little support bracket. So we'll measure them separately. We're going to first of all see if we can get a measurement. And we're going to have to eyeball this because the dimensions don't line up very nicely. And I don't want to unplug this and measure it properly. Do I want to measure this and do it properly? Maybe I do. We're going to say, looking pretty close. And I hope I'm right. So it's right around 60. Okay, one sec, I gotta put something in front of my face real quick. A third is looking like the measurement, and then we're gonna put one more on. We're gonna create another rectangle. Get the width of the little bottom piece, the little cable guard. We're gonna get at the fattest point because it's easier to do it that way. We don't have to be perfect, it just has to fit. As soon as I measure this, it's kind of, I have the bulb on, which I'm measuring, and it's kind of bright. Kind of hurts my eyes just a little bit, but that's okay. Yeah, that's probably about as close as we need. That's about 14 on the dot. Cool. We gotta measure the length of it, which again does not line up with my calipers because it is a indent. So we're gonna have to use the other side of this and kind of eyeball it. That's looking like 20 and a half. We're gonna round up to 20 and a half. Okay, let's do the same thing. We're gonna create a point. Create a point, put them together. Boom. So this is the base. This needs to be far enough away so that this and this don't intercept each other. Honestly, and it's also got to sit in the wall, so there's a little bit of finickiness because this is gonna have to point at the wall. Oh, I didn't even think about that. Because this whole thing's gonna slot in. This whole thing's gonna be tilted. So when we slot it in, this is gonna like be sitting right diagonal and it's not gonna quite line up. So we cannot make this down to the millimeter. There has to be some play. As we take this, this entire thing is gonna rotate. I don't think I have an easy way to show that. I just like rotate the whole photo. Give me a second. We have that tool. I don't know how to use this. I was kind of hoping I could just like drop it and then just rotate that bad boy, but I don't know how that works. Rotation. Oh, here we go. 90 degrees is not what I wanted. Okay. The main concern is this has to slot in and then it has to go up. So we have like the bed. This is going to be going into. And then we've got like our little mount that we're making that should sit like, ooh, that's a thin brush. Should sit like this. But when we first put it in, it's gotta slide in. And so that means the whole base is gonna collide. And that's a problem. Man, I was really hoping this is gonna be a little bit easier. So two options. we say screw it, and we put the whole bulb down here, and then it's not a concern. Or we do the proper measurement and we space this out because we're going to need probably linearly. Let me see how far I have to adjust it. 1 second, I'll be right back. Okay, it's looking like it's gotta sit at like a 75-degree angle, like it's pretty steep. So if we do the measurement on this, we take this to this, it was a pretty steep angle. I don't think 70, it was probably maybe 70 degrees. Is that right? 70 degrees. Yeah, okay, so that's not practical. Because if I've got to rotate it that much to slip in, and this entire area can't have anything in it, then building above is not gonna make any sense. So we're gonna build below. And then we'll just slide the lamp in later. That's a measurement all the way to the bulb. I could make this like perpendicular to it. I think it would look pretty good. We'll set a reference line here. I wonder if I can color the reference lines. Is this perpendicular? I hope that is. What is happening? They became parallel. I don't want them parallel. Please don't. Thank you. Why am I still perpendicular to something? There we go. Here's my thought. Take this. This is never gonna happen. And instead, we're gonna make this line up to that. I didn't really want to move the whole thing. We're gonna constrain this right there. Then we're gonna cross our fingers that we did the right measurement, which it looks like we did. That's good. And we're just gonna line this up. We don't need to make this perfect. I do want to make sure that the clearance from here to here, like a little distance. We don't want to build all the way to the edge because that's gonna be a problem. With that being said, this needs to grip onto here. So what I'm thinking, this is the bulb. This is the holster. We can do this quite a few different routes. Let me see how linear this little holster is, because I don't think it's perfectly flush. It's pretty cylindrical. Let me double check it's like a cylinder majority of the way, because we can, the bottom's rounded. But we can ignore that because it will never be visible. So the core thing that we need to deal with is we have a cable and we've got this little base piece. So first things first, this is going to line up all 6mm on that. We're going to make a line down from this point to this point. And this will be our start of our bracket. But be careful at the top because we cannot go all the way. Wait a minute, how flat does this sit? We don't have to be careful at the top because it does not sit flush. So This pleases my brain tremendously because that means I can just make a straight line. And so we would have basically just like a little branching segment that comes off of it. And so this is for the wall. I kind of wish I could like notate what that is. But it doesn't really make a lot of sense right this moment. I would like this to be parallel. Do I need a ton of plastic? I don't really think I want to do a ton of plastic. What's our distance on this? That's a 2mm line. Is this going to be 2mm or is math weird? 1.6mm. Why is math got to be weird sometimes? I misclicked. That's embarrassing. We're just going to make that 2. We're going to make this 2 as well. Just not in the mood to have weird math. We're going to build this to here. We're going to take this and make it 2mm, and then we're going to cut this and then act like that was never wrong. Cool. We got that. We got our support bracket. It will connect at the bottom and it will connect at the top. The other piece we need to worry about is the cable, because it's going to look really ugly. Just bend it up. I can. You know, that's what I'm gonna do. I was thinking of making like a complex cable route, but what I could do instead is just make a hole in the middle and just run the cable up. Oh, that's cool. Okay. We're gonna call this bedroom lamp. Bedroom candle lamp. Oh. Save that. Let me close this panel. Cool. So we've got a piece that's going to sit in the wall. We've got the start of the bracket. And then we need to make this fit. Let me double check my measurement. I said 37mm, so let me scale my calipers to 37 and see if it fits. 7. So that's 37. Theoretically, this should fit like a glove. Oh, it does. Okay, I was right. That also pleases me just a little bit, but the problem is I need to print this sideways so that I have strength in this direction, because all the levering strength is going to be coming on, or is going to be applied to this joint right here. And plastic's not very strong. So I need to make sure the layers follow this path instead of print along it, because the layer lines are going to be weaker than the layers. And so if this is a layer line, it's going to snap if there's any force on it. But if it's the layer going all the way across it, it'll lever it across the filament. It'll be a little bit stronger. This has to print flat, and that's going to be a big issue for accurately printing a cone to hold this. I'm really not sure how I plan to fix that. As it stands, I think we're going to go with the wing it method and just kind of cross our fingers. Let's go ahead and turn that on, and let's add just, oh, this needs to line up, and it's going to not please me if it doesn't line up. So let's go ahead, and we're going to add a outline to this, this, and this. That's going to be like 2mm is a lot of filament for this, but we'll make it work. I think 2 is probably more than enough. This needs to be adjusted. I don't like that. We're gonna take a
And so he's trying to make
oops. Did not want to cut that. I still want the rectangle there. I don't know if I plan to do anything with the rectangle, but I do want it. Take that. So now that's nice and lined up again. This pleases my monkey brain, having this sit flush. And then if I really want to, I could also add like a lattice to this for extra strength, because this is not going to be the strongest, but because the weight on this is going to go down, and this is going to pull on it, it's going to lever and it's going to hit the wall. That should make it just a little bit stronger. We do also need to plug the top of this. And I'm going to cut this piece off. Oh. Wait a minute. Wait a minute, what just happened? Am I dumb? I just did a dumb. That didn't even line up. I had it in the wrong place the whole time. I've committed the biggest sin of doing it wrong. Let's go ahead. Let's act like that never happened, and we're gonna do round number 2. This needs to come down. We're gonna take this point and put it here. Beautiful, beautiful. Let me take this point, and we're gonna just make it symmetrical. That's really all we can ask for at this point. We're gonna put that back to where it was. That's not right. Oop. That here. We're gonna give it a crop. I lined it up. Why is this? Okay. We've got that. We now have this lined up properly into the corner. We've got our little top support beam. We've got the outline of the circle that we're gonna need to cut, and then we have this. We need to let this sit in here without breaking it. So we're gonna make this solid, and then we're gonna give this its own little support structure. But we're gonna have to do this special. We'll again set it to about -2 millimeters. This isn't gonna have any actual support to it. Go ahead and extend this. And then we're gonna trim probably the bottom. So the idea is the little piece of this will slide into here, and then the cable will be free underneath of it. But this little piece right here will hold it in place and stop it from going and falling. We're gonna probably print this in 2 halves, because this is gonna be a big circle, and circles aren't gonna print that nicely. I think that's probably good enough for like a test. So at this point, I would say we have the basics of it. We have to do a revolve to make it 3D in the middle. And then we just finish the rest of it. That goes here. Do I want to make a lattice? I could go like this, make this perpendicular. And then we could do just a offset of like 2 millimeters. I didn't want all of it, I just wanted the one line. There we go. We could do that. We could extend it. I don't know what just happened. I think I had the trim tool out. Extend. Trim that, and then we just make like a little lattice. It's not gonna line up, which makes my brain less happy. Go ahead and do an extend on that piece. Let's do a trim on this. It's not perfect. You probably won't notice that. And then, that's probably good enough. So here's the fun part. We need to do a revolve. And to do that, we need an axis. And I didn't draw one because I didn't think about it. There we go. So, create, revolve. We gotta take this and this. And we're gonna revolve it around this point. Oh, that actually worked out beautifully. We gotta do this with these points as well. Back to our profile. Let's deselect the axis because it doesn't like it. And then we put the axis back. And then boom. That holds it. Beautiful. We want that sketch back though, because we have other things to accomplish. I didn't really think about this, but like this will hold it in place, but I don't have an easy way to like bind these pieces. No, we can make this work. Now this will work just fine. Here's what we're gonna do. We take all of these little chunks, and then let's just make it flat and eyeball it, I guess, because that's scientific, right? Zoom in a little bit. That's looking actually spot on. Like that. Cool. Beautiful. We take that. We can turn that sketch off because at this point we're just going to extrude the other side. Go again perpendicular to it. We'll expand it, zoom in a little bit, and see if we can get this lined up nice and flush. Ooh, that's beautiful. We're going to make another new body. No, we're not. We're joining. We're going to cross our fingers that it doesn't intercept the main, because then we get this, and we don't want that. We're going to go back in here, and we're going to tell it not to join, because that was a mistake. Okay. So, we've gotten this attached. Now what we need to do is we need to make these stick together. And that's not going to be quite as nice as the rest of this, but what we can do is do some extruding. And these extrudes are going to become the basis of the attachment. We take this and we're going to extrude it. You know what? We'll go all the way past the middle. That doesn't matter. It's going to be a new body. It's thinking really hard. Okay. And then what we need to do is we need to do some split bodies. We need to take that body, this body, and this body. And we're going to take this as our splitting tool. And then what we can do is cut it. And we just got to remove the pieces we don't want. Which is a lot. Can we take this and just get rid of it? Thank you. We need that one. Can I select the whole body? Yeah, whatever. That's these three. We're going to remove them. We need to take this, 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 which is 3 somehow. Oh no, it doesn't line up. Okay, we're gonna center this. We're going back to this point, and we're gonna bring this body back. And we're only extruding in the middle because I don't want to fix that. We're gonna dial that back just a hair. We'll try 20. 20.5. That looks nice. Like that. So now, like this, and we have the basis of the body. Milestone. Base structure. And so that would be the basis of it. I think that should be pretty structurally sound. Now, do I try to print it in one piece? Or do I split it in half? I kind of want to try to just print it in one piece. Let me check something. And if I'm right about this, I'm going to be sad. No, okay, both sides are even length. That's how it should be. It kind of looks like the top was longer from the bottom, and that was going to, like, mentally disturb me. Like, I mean, that looks like it connects. We got our little structure pieces. It kind of looks like a tube, but you won't see this part. You'll just see this part. What I could probably do, add to this, we're going to take all these bodies and we're going to combine them so that we can do this. I want to add some chamfers, because chamfers make me happy. Put a chamfer there. We're not going to put a chamfer on the inside because that's asking to catch your finger. Put a chamfer on the bottom and put these all about 1 millimeter, and then we're going to take this and we're going to add like a reverse chamfer for 1 millimeter. Oh baby. And then we've got this I don't know if I can chamfer that one. This side can stay flat because it's going to be against the wall. I didn't really want to chamfer the entire top. I just wanted to chamfer the tube. Unfortunately, I don't have that luxury, it's kind of looking like. Wait, no, I might have it. 1 second. I have an idea. This is back to 0. Can I deselect that and get just... Come on, I know you want to. No, I can't. Put that. We're gonna put that back to 1. Okay. I'm not a big fan of the design. It should work. We're gonna do 2 things. We're gonna print this, but we also... Let me bring up my printer. I think I turned it off. Let me go turn my printer on. Okay, I'm back and my printer has been turned on. What is new about this? I'm gonna wait to update because I want to use it right this second. Can we do this? I don't know if I want to just kind of give this a whack and see what happens, or if I want to cut into a smaller piece and make sure the top half works. I'm kind of debating maybe cutting it diagonal because this is a 4-hour print, but if I cut it and then no, we'll just send it and see what happens. I think it should work. Do I want to cut off the middle piece? What I could do, I need supports on the bottom. That has to be supported. That might be a problem because tolerance is tight. And this might be a problem because of tolerance. I do need a cable route. I need a way to get a cable in. So before we send that, let's design like a cable route. I'm not entirely sure how to do this. Let me look at the bed that I'm mounting this to and see where the cable can go, because ideally I like to just send it right up the bottom, but I really don't want to cut this because it's going to mean less strength. So let me see how far the next slat is down. 1 second. Okay, I do not have the option of building to the next slat, but I do have 15 millimeters to work with. So maybe I will thicken the support beam a little bit. I'm not sure how I feel about the 2 millimeters, and then maybe I can just route it through. Or I could just make a hole down through it. Can I get the thing through? I'm trying to think of the logistics of getting the cable through, because one side's got the plug on it, and the other side's physically attached. Like, I can't thread it through any holes. It needs a cable route that can have the cable slide in. So maybe I put like a hole here on this piece. We cut it up to the top. And then just out the back. That's probably fine, right? We just cut it through. We just cut like a path from this point up and out. I think that would be the easiest route. Let me see how thick the cable is. About 4 by 7 millimeters. So what we're going to do is probably cut the thinnest channel through that we can, which is going to be the 4 millimeter side, and then we'll just put the lengthwise sticking out. So I think the easiest way to do this is going to be just, let's take a perspective of this face. We're going to project all the way down. And then we're going to project the, oop, that's not what I wanted. I want this face. That's going to show us where it needs to go. I say 4 by 7 millimeters. Let's see. So it is in fact 4 by 7. So what we need to do is we need to calculate, we're gonna make a little square. And this square will be 7 millimeters tall, and it's gonna be 4 millimeters wide. We'll get our midpoint. That's not a midpoint. We're gonna put it this point, I believe. Yeah, I'll put it right there. Stick these together. So this is going to be our cable path coming out the back. And then from this point on, we just need to continue this hole all the way through the entire model. That's easy enough done. All we need to do is grab our rectangle. We'll do a 3-point. And then we'll just line up 2 corners. And then we'll go all the way over here. Line up our 3rd corner. And so if we split that, that'll get us a nice little hole all the way down. We'll get our sketch back because I hit it on accident. I probably should not make those do what they are currently doing. What I can do now, I have to eyeball this. It basically needs to cut to this point. So we go like that. I may not even need it all the way. To be fair, I could probably give up less of this. So this is lengthwise. As long as it fits, that's what matters. So maybe we'll build it to this point, and then we'll just subtract an extra like 7. And like that's probably enough. 7 millimeters. It should sit nice and snug. My only gripe with this is that it is not going to be quite as perfect as I was hoping, but I mean, it's a cable route. You won't see it. That's really the goal. Look at that. Beautiful. Now we'll have the cable. The cable will stick out of here. It'll come up, sit around the back of it, and then it'll go out the back. And this way, I only have to line it up once, and I don't have to worry about routing it. This won't be quite as structurally sound, but my biggest concern is gonna be the structurally soundness of this being levered on. With that being said, I'm a little bit concerned of spacing, because now that I'm thinking about it, this is like perfectly lined up. I might need to add some tolerance. Because the one thing I didn't account for is we're going to be building in the air, and so we're going to lose a little bit of a gap. Now we can make it work. I think it's fine. Let's go ahead. Grab our body, and we'll send it back to the slicer to get printed. We'll do the update after this. See, that's what I'm not a big fan of. We have to put a lot of support in to make this work. But like, hopefully it'll work out. Even if it doesn't, I will be sad. It should be dead center, right? Yeah. Cool. I think that should be good. 4-hour print. I might actually switch the filament real quick. We're gonna close that. And let's go ahead and warm the bed up, and let's warm the tool up as well. Do the update later because I just turned everything back on. And we need to do some new filament. Do I have any open black filament? I have an open thing of jet black. I'm gonna find my jet black real quick. I do in fact have some nice jet black filament, so we're gonna do that because the bed is also black and we want to make sure everything matches nicely. Because ideally I don't even want to look at the mount. The mount is there to hold a bulb. So once this finishes heating, I'm gonna go swap out the filament. Which looks like our tool is up to temperature. Let's go do that. Okay, so we have the correct filament. Let's go ahead and start the print. Set in black. Send it over and just make sure the first layer prints out okay. Okay. Let's go ahead and just make sure the first layer prints out okay. I would open that in a new tab, but it's rotated, and if I do that, it's gonna look kind of funny. But I think we're good. Cool. Go ahead and see how it turns out.